Awesome. So welcome everyone to TNG Online Connect. So for those that are new or joining in later, whole purpose of TNG Online Connect is to obviously widen your TNG group beyond your region. So introducing people from all across the country who are involved with TNG, but to also bring you a awesome educational aspect to TNG as well. So getting some guest speakers in from all across the country to speak on some awesome topics that can really help your own business. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing from Mark, who is the brainchild behind TNG in the first place. So definitely a apt, cool session ahead. Now, Mark himself, he has a franchise business and the TNG networking business as well. And he will be discussing networking in this current environment and sharing some tips for maximizing your time, resources, and how to develop your network. So that's what we're all here for, to develop a network. So what we'll do is have a 30-minute session with Mark. After that, we'll do a Q&A session, and then we will get into some 30 seconds wrap around through and introduce yourself and your business. But enough about me, let's talk about Mark. So Mark, please take it away.
I'll take the 30 seconds, Dan, if you don't mind, rather than the 30 minutes. And we probably won't be 30 minutes, but look, I know a lot of you, some of you I'm very pleased to meet this morning. And some of you are far more experienced networkers and better networkers than I'll ever be. Morning, Nigel. But I'll just... Sorry, let me just start this.
Oh, we can see that.
Okay, let me just get all the way back to where we need to be. Okay, I have a confession, everybody. I am not a very good Zoom user, and I'm not a very good PowerPoint presenter, and I really don't like Zoom very much, but we all live and learn in the modern environment. But look, networking in a pandemic is an interesting topic, and every day Melanie hears stories about people and their businesses and how they're either struggling or, you know, why they want to leave networking or why they want to join. So I thought I'd concentrate a little bit on the environment we're in at the moment, but I also thought that we could, you know, have some open and honest comments and maybe some discussion from some of you really experienced networkers about where you're at in your businesses, and open it up a little bit. So it's not all about me, it's not all about networking, but look, I do want to tell you a little bit about myself and my family, and my family is the most important thing to me. Everything I do is for my family. So for those of you who don't know, Melanie and I have been together for 10 years, and there she is at her brother's wedding. On the left of her is my oldest son, Luke, who's turning 21 this year, and he is at Vic Uni in Wellington in his third year. On the right of me is Sophie, who is definitely got Melanie's genes, as you can see. And she's 20 and she's studying medicine or bio, whatever you call it, at Auckland Uni. And then that good-looking chap who's probably the only smile we've ever got in the photo is my youngest boy, Regan. He turns 18 in June. And those two guys on the right are actually twins, Melanie's twins. Not identical, as you can see, because one's 6'3" and one's 6 foot. And that's Jack in the white shirt and Daniel in the black shirt. And those three boys all go to Westlake Boys High School on the North Shore in Auckland and are in their last year. And we've been a blended family for 10 years. So when we met, these boys were nearly 8 years old. And we're a pretty busy family, I can promise you. I have a few passions. Everybody that knows me that I'm a huge All Black supporter. And I will go anywhere or do anything to see the All Blacks play. And I'm very, very vocal when I'm at a rugby game. So I'm not the person you want to have sitting behind you or beside you, and it can get quite interesting at times. But I do love fishing. I'm fishing mad. Anything to do with the boat, the water, and fishing is all good by me. And I'm very lucky because Melanie's a water baby as well. So we share that passion. I'm reasonably focused. I'm the sort of person that once I want to do something, I'll do it. I'll spend 10 months of a year. Most people call it dieting, but I call it an eating plan and training for a singular competition, because I want to win. I don't want to come second. I don't want to come third. And I don't just want to be on the stage. I want to win. At my age, I now compete in the Masters. And last year, I missed out on going to the Nationals because in October, Auckland was still in lockdown and the Masters were in Christchurch. But maybe this year, we'll see. Just the other thing, I guess, is that I own two businesses, as Dan kind of pointed to. The first one is the networking group, obviously, which Melanie and I own together. And I've had that business for 10 years, and it's been a fantastic journey. And this business is all about not only growing my network, and it's been hugely successful for me, but helping other people in business. And, you know, for me nowadays, that's not necessarily visiting a group. It's just having a cup of coffee. I was privileged to have a cup of coffee with a young guy 2 weeks ago who's got a garden maintenance business, who wants to take some, you know, new direction and new focus in life. And I'm not a business coach, but I was able to sit there and just talk to him about, you know, what his opportunities could be. And he's just an amazing young guy. And that's the sort of people that I enjoy seeing and being around at 26 years old. And I love having those discussions with people. And for me, networking is just people. It's really simple. It is just people. If I put the time into people, then it all comes back. But look, I want to talk about what the effects of the pandemic has been on SMEs, but also on networking. But before that, I just wonder whether people could put maybe one word into the chat that describes your business and how it's been in the last 2.5 years. So if you can sum how your business has been in the last 2.5 years, can you put that in the chat for me? And then I'm hoping I can share some of those. Okay, very cool. So that's really interesting. Oh, they're going to fly up the screen for me. Let's try and get up to the top. So where are we? So Dan's experienced growth, and I'm guessing that's because people have had to take their businesses online, and their presences had to be more of a digital space than rather where they were before, which is potentially face-to-face. Kaz has had growth. Harmony's had growth due to the pandemic. So TNG has had a continual decline, and that wouldn't surprise you because we're a face-to-face organisation, and you know ours is a tactile business where you meet with people and you connect, and so it's very difficult to sell people a concept. And there is at least one business coach in this room. I've really come to hate the word pivot. You need to pivot your business. It's like telling a travel agent that they need to pivot when what they do is they sell travel. They can't do anything else. And actually for us, our business model is connecting people and helping them to grow their businesses and be better business owners. So Theo tells us that he's had the best year ever. Really interesting, best year ever. So people have maybe taken the time to look at their personal insurance and their personal situations, Theo, I'm guessing, and have really just decided that, you know, hey, we need to make sure we've got good protection and the right protection. Accounting's been a bit mixed. Malcolm says it's been bloody hard, and I get that. I absolutely get that. And Jeff says that he's been busy as an accountant. And Malcolm says it's been lonely. And we're going to cover that off. And people are having to reposition. And it's bled cash. It's bled some cash. So I'm just going to get out of here. Thank you for all of that. So for me, The effects of business and what's happened in the last 2 years are quite varied, aren't they? Because 50% of the people that are here have done well and benefit. Dan's done really well and benefit because people want to be. Half of us are struggling or have had to try and pivot and do something else. So I just want to ask you another question. And if you can just give me a kind of a 1 or a 2 sentence answer. How are you, and we had, who was the lady, Melanie, that did the mental health and thing 2 weeks ago? Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sarah Linton from Untitled Chapter.
And she talked all about mental health and how to look after yourself, and it was fantastic. So just give me a comment or 2 about how you are after 2.5 years of this, working in this environment, and let's have a look at those. Sorry, I'll get my right PowerPoint up, hopefully. Here we go. Have we got some comments in the chat, Dan? Can you see them? Why can't I see them? Here we go.
Yeah, I can see them. You got them there?
Yeah, now I've got, they're starting to come up now. So people are tired. Kaz, of course you are. We're very grateful for our dogs and our animals as well. And she's missed her family who are living in Oz, and that's tough, isn't it? Working much longer and more varied hours, working harder for less or just the same, many of us. Anybody else got a comment? Okay. So Forbes report that I read yesterday, along with quite a lot of other research I did around Australia, there's very little around effects on businesses in New Zealand actually published. And you could be a conspiracy theorist around why there isn't much out there, but particularly in Australia and America and the UK, here are some of the words and what's happening with the effects on SMEs in the world. So the biggest one was exhaustion. Owners are exhausted. They're either exhausted because their businesses are scaling up in Dan's world, for instance, and he can't keep up, he can't get staff, and he's exhausted from working a lot of hours in expansion, and he can't get new staff, or he can't take his business to that next level. He's really struggling with that. Their mental well-being is fatigued. They're stressed. Who here has had stress? And just put your hand up, because I have stress in the last 2.5 years. It's pretty common, isn't it? Their work-life balance has deteriorated, some to the point where it's all work and no life. And this one came up in the chat. They're working the hardest they ever had for less return. So they're actually treading water. And that's really quite scary, isn't it? People haven't been able to take holidays from their business or extended vacations. Congratulations, Theo, on traveling all around New Zealand recently. We watched that with interest. They're feeling very isolated and feeling very alone. And those came up in the comments as well. And the worst thing is that there is a high percentage of burnout in SMEs. So that's kind of scary. Those are the effects of a pandemic on SMEs. So even if your business is doing well, you're still suffering from stress, you're suffering from isolation, you're feeling lonely. All of those things are kicking in. Just gonna hopefully share the right screen again. Networking. The action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. Quite simple, really. It's people being with people, isn't it? People being with people. That's networking. This is one of my favorite sayings, and I use it all the time. I have so many conversations with people that are working harder, doing more hours, spending more money on social media and, a new coaching course and all of these things. And actually, what they need to do is spend some time in their networks and build a better and a stronger team. So they're taking what I call the long way in business. If you want to build a franchise business in New Zealand, then what you have to do is you have to have contacts right across New Zealand. That's the only way to do it. If you want to build a networking business that is nationwide, then you have to have contacts in Christchurch, you have to have contacts in Dunedin, you have to have contacts in Blenheim, you have to have contacts in the Taranaki. We have those. We have all those. We have multiple groups waiting to open, multiple groups. I guess what people lose focus of is what they're looking for in networking. So if I want to go, can everyone see my cursor? Yeah, if I want to go from here to somewhere up here or even beyond, we can go the long way around. It could take 10 years to find what we're looking for. So that could be your perfect client. It could be your perfect referral. So, and I'm just going to pick Dan, for instance. Dan has a specialist place in the market. Yes, he builds websites, but he specializes in what happens behind those websites. And that's what he's really good at. So he's specifically looking for clients that are looking for that package behind the website, because that's what he wants. And those customers are good customers for him. And if he does it well, then they will tell their friends that are in that business and their colleagues, and it keeps going. So how do I get from here to way out here? Anybody got any ideas? Let's put some stuff in chat. How do I get from here and get my golden referral? Maybe you're looking to be introduced to the head of Fonterra, or maybe you're looking to get the golden referral, which is worth $500,000. I don't know. How do I get from there to there? Theo, come on, help me out. Start telling people who you want to be connected with. Use your connections and ask the right questions. Anybody else? Through connections with others. Ask for help. Or pick up the phone and make that initial connection. Great, cool. And all those are really, really good answers. See the people, see the people, see the people. So long as the people want to see you, see the people. Absolutely. I'll give you an example of something that helped me. There's one more, so we'll just have a look. Does anybody know somebody who has a contact in? And the one that everybody who's a polished networker uses is a really good referral for me is. A really good referral for me is. I've been on so many online meetings with groups, and Melanie has, and people do their 60-second, they don't ask for anything. What did you want? Why did you just speak for 60 seconds? What exactly did you want from coming here this morning? Does anybody know somebody who has a contact in? I'll give you a really nice example. So I've just joined after a year it's a male mentoring program called Big Buddy, and they partner young boys who don't have a male role model in their life for various reasons. Their father might have passed away, or their father might be in jail, or just single mother, or whatever it is. And they partner guys up with young kids, anything from 5 to about 14, 15. And you spend some time every week with these kids, and you give them some male role model stuff that you work on with them. So I paired up with a young guy and met him and his mum, and I said, hey mate, just give me a list of all of the things that you really want to do with me, some boy stuff. So he gave me a list of 12 or 13 items. The very first one, the most important one to him, was archery. Well, there's a lady on here, Carolyn, who's a pretty good archer, if that's what you call them. So what did I do? I ring Carolyn and I say, I've got this young kid, it's the best cause ever. He really, 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 really wants to do archery. Can you help me? How old is he? Oh, he's 9. He's actually 10, but he's 10. Mark, we haven't got any bows at our club that this kid could actually use. They're all for adults. But I have a good friend and a connection who owns an archery shop and an indoor archery range in Hobsonville. I'll connect you. I took this boy the following weekend, and the lady that owns it gave us an hour and a half of her time. You've never seen a kid smile so much in his life. All through just knowing people and knowing what they do and who they know. So it's really important to ask the questions. And I get really frustrated when I see people in online meetings who just don't ask. So for those of you who are area group managers or quite senior in your groups, perhaps you should be encouraging your members to ask for what they want. It's really important. Most of you know I'm not a fan of online networking. I want to be face-to-face with Theo and Dan and all those people because for a lot of reasons, but because that's who I am. If I can look you in the eye and I can get a feel for you and I can hear you speak, then it's likely that I'm going to make a decision as to whether I can work with you or help you in the future. There's likely not much you can do for me after 15 years in business. Maybe there is. But that's how I feel about it. So in the chat, can you guys put what you think is wrong with online networking? What doesn't work with online networking? We've covered off that it's not very personal. What else? Thank you, Theo. That's my biggest, what would you call it, worry, when techno fails, because I'm not a techno person and I don't know how to fix it, and I start to really panic. See you, Jeffrey, thank you. The nuances of relationships are not so easy online. Exactly. There's no body language. Unstable connections. So internet, a lack of body language, interactions, and tech. So most of us are afraid of tech. And I suppose if you're the Dans of this world, it doesn't bother you, but it really bothers the rest of us. Very good, Malcolm. Feedback is limited. So let me just tell you what I think is wrong with online networking. It's definitely not personal. You can get right up close to the screen, but it's not personal. It makes us lazy. I can't remember what group it was, but early on, when we started going online, and Melanie and I only noticed right at the end of the meeting, one of our members was sitting in bed with their dressing gown on and had the thing up here. And as she went to sign off, it came down and we could see her bed and her dressing gown. She's in bed, networking. What are you doing? but it does make us lazy. Dan said it, oh, I think if I turn up 5 minutes late for online, it's okay. But if I'm 5 minutes late in person, I don't feel great. I know I'm late and people give me the scowl. But it's okay to show up a little bit late for online because you had an excuse. You needed to go and make a cup of tea. We definitely don't feel engaged. We don't get that same connection as we would in the face-to-face. And I can tell you on the mornings, and Theo, you'll know what this is like, on the mornings when it's dark and cold in the middle of winter, and you've got to get up at 5:30, in my case, to get to the other side of Auckland or to Hamilton or wherever it is, and you're not feeling your best, and then you go to a meeting and it's a fantastic meeting and it's a great 10-minute and everybody's fizzing and everyone hangs around, you just don't get that in online. You just don't get that. We get distracted. We turn our cameras off. We pick up our phones. People can see us if we don't have our cameras off, and we do other things. And even us boys start to multitask, but we're not focusing on the meeting and we're not focusing on the people that have turned up. And then what happens is we lose interest because we're not getting what we wanted. We don't do a great 60 seconds because we get lazy or we get a little bit complacent. Oh, no one's really listening to me, I'm online. And then people leave or they stop showing up. That's a little bit of what's wrong with online. However, my suggestion is to try a few things in this era of pandemic when we may still be online, some of us for a little while longer. Dress up, put something different on. Put on a pink coat, Dan, and see what people say then. Do you think they'll notice you?
Oh, for sure.
It'll go well with your hair, mate, to be fair. Stop using PowerPoint. Stop using PowerPoint. It's difficult for all of us. Stop using PowerPoint. Can you talk for a minute without having any screen, or for 10 minutes? You should have practiced and had your 60 seconds nailed online by now. Use a prop. I've just talked about a pink coat for Dan. He's not doing it, but use a prop. Carolyn can have her dog there. It doesn't really matter, you know. Use a prop. What's going to make you stick out online? If you can't do a 10-minute presentation, PowerPoint properly, pay someone to do it. It's not going to cost you a lot of money. Don't you want your business to be absolutely as professional as it can look? Because it's online doesn't mean people aren't looking at you. There's a few others as well, I think, that are important. But those are really the important ones for you to have a really good online and what I would call non-face-to-face meeting. And they don't change too much. They obviously don't change too much. The most important thing, though, is you need to be real. Just because you're online doesn't mean you're not real. You make a mistake, you can say a swear word if that's how you're so inclined. You can have your kid walk up behind you if you're working from home, or in Dan's case, his workers walking behind him, or whatever that is. We're real people. Some of us don't have fantastic home offices. We literally just work at a desk in the middle of our houses. The other thing I've noticed is people don't seem to be proud of their businesses online, Theo. You know, what happened to that? My business is awesome. Give me a referral. Have we lost a bit of that? Or is that just because we're a little bit tired? I'm really proud of my business. I'm really proud of both of my businesses. I'm proud of my business partners. Absolutely proud of them. And I want people to think that I'm proud of my business. The last thing I would say to you about what's right about online, and it's the same as face-to-face, is use client testimonials. If you want to put something up on a screen, Put the last client testimonial you got, the last website that you did, Dan, that had the, what do you call the stuff behind there that does all the, like, you know, what do you call the back stuff that does all the automation of everything that you're so good at? You know, use someone who says that that's fantastic and does everything I want. If you're a lawyer, the last person, if you do conveyancing, the last person whose house you know that you help them buy, and they sent you a little thank you. I want to know what your clients think of you. Everybody here does. So when you do your 60 seconds today, you may not have a client testimonial, but next time you do it, maybe you should have one. I know Theo will have dozens of them. I know that because I know him and I know the people that use him. And that's what people want, is they want to be able to trust you and know that you really look after the clients and that you're real. Okay, I'm going to finish off. How are we for time? 2 minutes, Dan, I promise you. Ten bloody good reasons to network right now. I'm going to put them on the screen because it's going to be quicker. If you want to stay focused on your goals, you have to stay networking. They are not a separate issue in business. Networking should be part of your goals. Develop and grow your business through your referrals, or go and spend tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on people that you don't know and take the long way and hope that it works. I want our members to be able to openly discuss your feelings, all of them, including the fact, which is what we've done today, I've asked you for comments, including the fact that business is tough and that you're desperate for business. There is nothing wrong with saying that. I'm pleased if your business is doing well. If it's not, I want to help you. And so do the other members of your networking group. Continue to build that team around, awesome team around your business. So continue to add people to your team through your networking. Grow your social network through your business networking. Most of my good friends that are not my school friends are from 15 years of networking. I now go fishing with them. I go to the rugby with them. They're my friends. And secondly, we do business together. Some of them I don't even do business with anymore. Grow your social network through your business network. You need to feel connected and be around like-minded people, no matter how you're feeling. You also need to be accountable to your fellow group members. So I'm not going to give you the 6 must-dos, but turn up, be involved, you know, make the meeting fizz even if it's online. How about creating meaning in other people's lives, helping them to grow their business, keeping it real for them? Networking is about developing your skills. If you can't speak, if you can't do a 60 seconds, practice. When I started this, I couldn't speak. I went and did a professional speakers course so that I could talk to people and hopefully get my message across. And then widen your network to match your business community. Visit other groups. For those of you who are specialists in the group, in the meeting, you can visit other groups. So those are 10 really good reasons why you need to network now, and even if it is online. I like the saying, because it's got respect in it. And 10 years ago, when Melanie and I saw a, what are they called, family counsellor, because we had a blended family that weren't happy about us being together, the counsellor said one thing to us. She said, I'm going to tell you one thing, and then you can go away and you have to sort it out or not. Your children don't have to like you or like the other parent, but they do need to respect you. And so 10 years later, we have respect from all 5 of our children for both parents. But respect for people is the cornerstone. If you give people respect, if you say you're going to meet them, turn up. I've just put this up because I talked about testimonials, and a lot of you will know Andy Burrows, the trades coach in Auckland, and I'm going to let you read this and then we're pretty much done. And then Dan, we probably haven't got any time for questions because I've run over. But Andy's been with us for, in fact, he was involved in TNG before I took it over 10 years ago, and we're just hitting our 10-year anniversary in April. This is what TNG is about. This is what networking is about. I don't care if you go to BNI or Venus or whatever, so long as you're networking. If you see value in TNG, then that's great. And what I love about what Andy says is the TNG model attempts to do just that. Constant adjustment is required to keep it swimming down its lane and not get tangled in the float lines. So he hasn't said pivot, he says you just need to tweak a few things. I'm all done. Dan, thank you very much. I'll hand it back to you. And thank you for listening.
Awesome. Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Mark. That is definitely a good way to start a Friday, or I mean, go into the weekend, you know, and think about the people that we can connect and get in touch with, and definitely how I can grow my network for sure. Did we have, let's see, Helen, was that you got to mute yourself first. And let's try unmute yourself, Helen.
Mute.
Thank you, Mark.
Helen.
It was worthwhile listening to. Unfortunately, I was to go at 11. I've already stayed a bit longer, and I'm sorry I can't stay to the end, but I did indicate to Melanie that I was going to have to leave. So
Lovely
thank you
to
very
see you.
much.
Okay, take care.
Thanks, Helen. Appreciate it.
Right,
Sure.
how do I get out?
You can leave. There we go. Helen's gone. Perfect. Well, we've got about 3 minutes, you know, for questions. So if anyone does have a question for Mark, we can go into that, or a thought. You've clearly blown us all away, Mark. Everyone's
Or bored you out of the meeting. That's okay.
No, I'm still here. You know?
You have to. You're running the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Theo, was that a hand?
Yeah, well, just a question. The whole thing that Mark talked about, thank you, Mark, great presentation. Being connected, keeping those relationships going, so important. Certainly, some of you will know that I don't have a Vax pass. And one of the things, I've been very active in a number of groups, and it's really been very heartwarming. Through at the times that the group has been meeting in person that I haven't been able to attend, it's been very heartwarming to know that the investment of time, energy, passion, and support that one has put into that group has also come back, because I've been getting a stream of messages coming back from people saying, God, we miss you. You know, it doesn't seem the same without you in the group. But anyway, it's just an appreciation. I guess it's just a reflection that, yeah, we're all very connected. That's the natural human thing, isn't it? To be connected, to stay connected, to be connected, to help each other. And really looking forward to the new horizon, if you like, with everyone starting to get back together face to face and doing our stuff.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've just, you know, I don't have an opinion on vaxxed or unvaxxed. I certainly think the mandates should have been gone, and I'm glad they're going, because we just need to be one society and one people again. But, you know, we've got groups, Kerry, that they're bloody all not vaxxed, you know, so that forced them online, and really good people. We've got groups where over half of the members in Auckland not vaxxed. And so it's been very difficult for us to manage that whole part of it. But, you know, predominantly the people that have, for whatever reason, haven't been vaxxed have stayed involved. And I think the upside of being online is, you know, because we've had this diversity, or whatever you want to call division, we've been able to keep people like yourself, Theo, involved. And it is now time to move forward, get into a room if you hopefully can, you know, with everybody. And we spoke, Malcolm, earlier about this, you know, and just bloody get on with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hey, look, Dan, just to feedback to Mark, and I'm just brought it back to the simple, important things. Business is not difficult. Networking is a part of what everybody should be doing in terms of the, you know, generating leads and positioning their brand. So thank you for the reminder about the simple stuff. So yeah, thank you, Mark. I think it was back on cue. I challenged the group at Cambridge yesterday, interestingly enough, to be here to get involved with Octopus and so on. And I noticed that a number of them, are here. So I think we definitely have a bit of lethargy going on, but also a requirement to say to people, get involved, get back into it. You need to do stuff. Hence my simple comment around, the 3 key rules in sales. See the people is rule number 1, and guess what the other 2 are. So in closing, just before I go, you also reminded me, Mark, thank you, if you like, about asking for something. So to you people, my ideal client, the people that I want you to refer to me, is a client who has a clear, explicit need. Obviously, that's what we do in business. We solve problems. But if you know of people who have a cash flow issue, or they're not profitable, or their life's out of balance, or they don't know why they're in business, because those are the 3 most common things that pop up, please think of me. Thank you again, Mark, for that.
Thanks, Malcolm. Nice to see you.
Point.
Awesome. Thanks, Malcolm. Appreciate it. Cool. So what we'll do is we'll do a quick wrap around the room and just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your business, and then we will go forth into the rest of our week. So Theo, you're top left on my screen. So let's start with you.
Yeah, Theo from UProtect and Z Insurance, UProtect Insurance Services. Forgot my own name. Personal and business insurance specialist. What do? One thing we don't do, we don't sell insurance. We provide quality guidance and expertise in helping people work out their protection plans. What is an ideal referral for me? An ideal referral for us is anyone whose eyes are starting to water from the premiums that they are currently paying, or anyone who is going or about to go through some special life event, like taking up a mortgage, buying a new property, getting married, any of those special life events, which really are important times to review one's insurances. So that's Theo at UProtect and Z Insurance Services, providing security and peace of mind for you, your family, and your business.
Theo, can I just say, because we talked about online, I love your backdrop. I love that little baby's hand, and it all looks about protection. So just that backdrop makes such a huge difference, doesn't it?
Well, thank you. Yeah, and that's deliberate. I
know it is, but I'm just making a comment as to how I see it.
Yeah, what I refer to, that's basically UProtect's helping hand, helping the generation.
There it is. Well done.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. Thanks, Theo. Kamni?
Well said, Dan. You pronounced my name really well, so thumbs up. My name's Kamni. I'm based in Blenheim, and I am an underwear consultant. Yes, it's the first thing you put on, everybody, and the last thing you take off. So you bloody hell better be in the most comfortable ones, and that's why you need me. My ideal customers are those who don't want to go into the shops, and would rather spend more time doing what they love and take the stress and give it to an expert who knows all about it. Main focus this week is actually active wear. So if you have daughters, granddaughters, friends, girlfriends who are in high impact sports, they would make ideal clients, because with women, a lot of breast damage happens when they're playing high impact sports. So that's Kamni from Bras and Briefs expert, or just think of me as the babe. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, the first thing that you put on in the morning, definitely.
Not you, Dan.
Cool.
Don't forget the pink jacket.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a completely different Dan at the next TNG Online Connect. Abby, let's go with you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Abhi Chagwani, my tax CA, Chartered Accountants, helping businesses with tax and compliance. I'm just going to share a small story today. I met up with a client 2 weeks back on Wednesday in Dairy Flat. They've got 3 businesses. He was doing intercompany transactions to his different businesses to survive: restaurant, construction, and a food truck, 3 different businesses. His existing accountant took all of that as drawings, which he shouldn't have. And with that, obviously, he had a lot of tax to pay. So we had a chat. We are sorting out his 2022. We'll be going forward, sorting out his future accounts and taking all the intercompany transactions into account. So I am looking for someone who is with the existing accountant, who doesn't understand how intercompany works and who is paying tax for no reason. We will help you with tax minimization or tax savings, or what's best we could do legally with tax. Send them my way. Thank you.
Thanks,
And
Abby.
one thing, Mark, would I be able to get those 10 points? You know, it was really good you had in your slide.
So
We sometimes forget what we should be doing. So I'll keep that as a Bible
Melanie
with
can
me.
send you the whole presentation.
Thank you.
Awesome. Nigel.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Mark. Always fascinating to hear you. Just building on from your 10 points there, one question which everyone should be asking themselves in business and in personal is, what am I tolerating? Leads aren't coming in. What do I do about it? Post-it notes all around my screen. What am I going to do about it? People walking in, interrupting that project I should be doing. What am I going to do about it? So keep asking every day, say, what am I tolerating? And then take it from there. And then start talking to people like myself or Dan and look at how you can put the systems and processes in, which is then my segue into my 60 seconds, which I've just doubled, right? All marketing. So Nigel, Phoenix Consultancy Services, my focus is on the back end systems and processes that you use to talk to your prospects, your customers, and your staff. And that's completely different messaging. If you're relying on one electronic newsletter once a month, you're going to piss off probably 90% of your audience because it's not relevant to them. So you have to get the right message to the right audience using the right medium. And that's all about segmenting your database, having clear calls to action, having all the follow-up autoresponders in place, having your LinkedIn profile right, having your Google My Business profile right, having your Bing profile in place. If you're talking to corporates, like chances are their company policy is Microsoft. So they won't be using Google My Business. They're going to have Bing as their default placeholder. So you need to make sure that's all there in place. And as far as testimonials go, looking at this morning, I've got 3 people on this morning's screen who are customers of mine, and one who was a victim of mine in a wild review I did of her website and GMB profile in a presentation I did a while ago. So people know what I do. And for those of you who don't, you need to talk to me. You've got my number there on the screen. Nigel, Phoenix Consultancy. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Nigel. Malcolm.
Thank you, guys. Thanks once again, Mark, for that presentation. I've just actually been just reviewing over the last few days, what I actually do, and I think I'm going to simplify it down. I work as a business coach, and I'm part of a nationwide network of guys and girls that a pretty powerful bunch of people. But if you ask me the question, what I actually do, there's 3 things really. I'm the facilitator of hard conversations in the business when they need to happen. Secondly, I'm the kick-ass resource that says, why the hell aren't you doing what we agreed to do? And thirdly, and more empathically, I'm the one that listens to the, not the bleating and the moaning, but the hard stuff that business owners have to put up with. I take the loneliness out of the workspace. I'm a business coach, a traditional sort of heading, but in reality, that's more what I do. I'm with the Business Success Partners Group. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Malcolm. Kaz.
Hi, everyone. You can probably guess from the footprints. I'm a dog trainer based in North Albany, and Mark, you challenged us to come up with a testimonial, and this is probably my favorite, and it probably explains really well, if you'll bear with me while I read it out to you, why I do what I do. So this is from Kelly with her young family in Onehunga. Tom and Lauren of Absolute Dogs talk about how we all get a dog with a dream in mind. I had huge dreams for my rescue dog, Cole, who I now also know is NBN, naughty but nice. I was pregnant with our first child when we adopted him, and among other things, I was really looking forward to having him chill out with me, keep company while I was feeding and playing with the baby. Unfortunately, that was far from reality. Generally, when I sat down to feed, Cole would attention bark, paw at me, try to bite me, destroy his bed, etc., etc. I couldn't trust him to be alone in the house, so I had to lock him in his crate while I fed my baby. So far from what I had envisaged. We joined up the training academy, started playing games, but his behavior got even worse. He started full on attacking me while we'd play. He'd start off fine, then forget about the toy and start using my arms and legs as tug toys. I couldn't get him to stop, and I was terrified of playing with him. Coming away from our sessions covered in bruises and scratches. I cried so much. I felt like a complete failure as a mum to Cole and to my son. And as so much of my time was spent managing Cole, I didn't feel like I was dedicating enough time to my son. I was seriously having to consider rehoming him, as I was genuinely concerned for both mine and my son's safety. I was absolutely devastated. Then I found a wonderful trainer in New Zealand who uses AD methods, Kaz from Paws Perfect Dog Training. She helped me focus and slightly tweak a few things in my strategies, and this is where we are today.
Great.
Fantastic.
Photos of me feeding thing is it was his choice to be there. I didn't call him over. He wandered in, flopped totally calm and content. Couldn't believe it. I cried again, but for very different reasons. I've gone through so many emotions, 6 months, but I'm feeling so much more optimistic, and I know it's thanks to Kaz. That's why I do what I do. Help animals to be a proper family member, and just tweaking 1 or 2 things can make it perfect. Thanks for listening.
Can you fix teenagers?
Oh no, I don't work with 2 legs, only 4. Apparently the strategies cross over, but
Yeah.
not my wheelhouse.
Beautiful testimonial. Well done.
Melanie.
Thanks, Dan. I absolutely love networking because I work from home. So networking makes me feel part of a larger community. I don't feel so isolated. I'm not in suburbia, and I feel like I'm helping others as well. So Mark challenged us all to think today about networking, and those are why I love it, and that's why I'm in the perfect position here at the networking group to work with and enjoy working with all our members. So I just wanted to read you a testimonial as well, which Mark always also challenged us to do. So mine's a little bit shorter. It is, TNG gives us the opportunity to concisely present our business 26 times per year to a group of fellow business owners. By using these opportunities to promote your business, you steadily build your know, like, and trust relationships. My TNG network has given me clients, referrals, and friendships, plus access to a store of knowledge and experience. And that was from Nigel Ekins from Phoenix Consultancy. And that was a couple of years ago. Thank you, Nigel.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good testimonial. So ironically, I work with digital, and now my camera's dead. So you're just going to have to listen to me talk instead of might need to reboot my laptop. So my name's Dan. I work with digital, with the visual. So all you can see is the networking group on my screen, which is fine. I don't mind promoting them. They're a great bunch. What we do is we obviously work behind the scenes, helping businesses better represent themselves online, and also building that functionality that's actually going to help turn their website into a tool rather than just a visual aid and a marketing asset. So a lot of the time, the businesses that we're working with, they need a subscription base, they need a membership base, they need tools behind the scenes to make their lives easier. So getting data from their customers, crunching it, and then creating results, and then automating that out back to their clients. So oftentimes working with insurance brokers to create quotes or help them draw an asset information from other third-party tools that they use. And then obviously still create a awesome, beautiful looking package that the public sees. So they see all the pretty pictures. They don't see all the, crazy cogs and wheels madly spinning behind the scenes, doing all the nitty-gritty stuff. So that's me, Dan from Ingot Digital Design, and that is what we do. The other thing that I do is obviously just chat and do the TNG Online Connects, which has been super fun. So on that note, thanks everyone for joining in. We will obviously have the session recorded and added to the YouTube channel, so you can get that. And if you do want the tips that Mark shared, by all means, please reach out to Melanie and she will get them through to you. Otherwise, we will be back in a fortnight, same time, 10:30, and look forward to seeing you all then.
Nice weekend, everyone.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
all. Bye.
Be safe.
Bye for now.